Hey guys, welcome to the review today that I am most excited about. We are comparing and reviewing two different fitness and health wearables, the Oura Ring and the Whoop Band. So I'll talk about these, what I loved about them, what I didn't love about them, how they compare, and what I think each is best at so that you can make a decision on which one you might want to choose. So first off, I'll start by saying that I wish every single person in my one-on-ones and in my group program wore one of these because I think it is so valuable to have this insight on how you're sleeping, moving, etc. throughout the day because I really think it plays a big impact on our health overall. And I kind of think that we're learning and science is figuring out that recovery and all of these different things impact our bodies the most. How we sleep is impacting our health greatly. And so we kind of need to be tracking these things and figuring out what impacts them in order to prioritize our health. So we'll talk about what each of these is analyzing and which one they're best at so we can kind of see if they are worthwhile because they're very popular right now. And so we'll start with the Whoop Band. I don't have it on right now, but this is the Whoop Band. I will go ahead and say that I'm reviewing the 3.0 Whoop Band, and there's now a 4.0 Whoop Band, but I've worn the 3.0 for several months to analyze it. As I understand it, there's some updates, yes, and then you can do body temperature and blood oxygen level with 4.0, but overall that shouldn't really impact the review, so take that for what it is. But the Whoop Band goes on your wrist. It has the heart rate sensor right here, and you just snap it on, and there it is. So my main problem with the Whoop Band is there's no clock. It's just a heart rate monitor on your wrist. So it looks pretty cool, but if you're gonna wear a watch on the other wrist or you wanna know the time at all, not really gonna be very helpful. But that's really beside the point for the review. Let's talk about the features. There are three main things that both of them will analyze. For the Whoop Band, it's called recovery and strain and sleep. We'll see what that compares to in the Oura Ring in just a second. But for recovery, this is quite literally how you recover from the day before's activity and strain, exercise, all of that, and how well you slept. They kind of all go together. Each of the wearables have their own algorithms that analyze these things to give you the readouts each day. Of course, they don't publish those. We don't know exactly what they're analyzing, but kind of based on the trends that I saw and the comparison of the two when I wore them at the same time, it seems that Whoop Band is a little bit more focused on heart rate variability. They also educate a lot about this in their podcast as well, and kind of seems to be their main focus on that recovery readout. So how high is your heart rate variability? That kind of gives you a better recovery rating for the day. And then there's strain, which is just the intensity of your workouts. And so I noticed even on workouts, weight workouts, where it was really exhausting, fatiguing, definitely broke down muscle fibers to build them back up, the strain might not get super high. But if I go on a run where my heart rate's a lot higher, the strain is a lot higher, right? So we can see that they're prioritizing really heart rate zones for that, which makes sense. It is more rigorous if your heart rate is up higher. And so it's just something to keep in mind on kind of how they calculate strain. It gives you a score of 1 to 20, 1 to 21 potentially. But overall, strain is just your performance for the day. And then sleep is sleep. I will say that this is kind of an area that Whoop struggles in my opinion. It gives you a readout of sleep performance, like how many hours you needed and how many you got. But other than that, it really doesn't give you any details about sleep at all. And I think this is an area they can greatly improve on. Things I love about the Whoop Band and the app and the technology overall is that there's a journal feature. So every morning when you wake up and it gives you your recovery and your sleep activity goals, all of those kinds of things. It also asks you questions that you can customize. So I asked mine as, did I have any added sugar the day before? Did I have any alcoholic beverages the day before, etc.? And it analyzes those things over time and gives you monthly reviews of kind of how things are going. So you can see if those things are impacting you or not and helps you kind of draw conclusions from the data it's giving you, which is they are best at, hands down. They are the best at doing that in the current market and what we've got right now. I will also say that Whoop has the stronger emphasis on activity, so on strain. That's definitely where it shines, like it's their area of focus, it seems, where sleep is not necessarily as accurate there. Overall, there was definitely a vibe with Whoop and the app and the readouts that it gave you, in my opinion, of you can do better, you can do more, keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding. Like, it definitely had that type A personality feel to it, in my opinion, which I'm not against working hard by any means, but it definitely just felt like it was pushing you even when maybe it shouldn't be. I didn't really feel like the readouts were super intuitive. I might have felt like I got a great workout in, and the strain is really low, so that can be kind of defeating for like my perfectionist mindset. And so I'm not afraid of being pushed, so don't hear me say that, but it definitely had a feel for it that you might love, but some people who are wanting to be a little bit more intuitive with might not love that feel and that vibe from Whoop. And next we have the Oura Ring. So I'm wearing one here. It has the different heart rate sensors on the inside of the ring here, and analyzes that way. This is the newer version of the ring as well, just in case you're curious which one we are analyzing. So it does do body temperature, both of them do respiratory rate, all of that good stuff. And so in general, it analyzes those three main things. Instead of calling it recovery, Oura Ring calls it readiness. Instead of strain, it's just activity, and sleep is sleep. So the thing I love most about Oura Ring is the detailed readouts it gives you of everything. So Whoop Band gives you some readouts and is better at analyzing them, but it doesn't actually tell you like what it's analyzing, if that makes sense. Where Oura Ring gives you all the data, like the sleep option. Whenever you wake up, you can see how many minutes and when you woke up based on the chart there. It gives you all of the readouts of everything right then and there. So there's a lot more detail given to you in the Oura Ring app, in my opinion, but it might not help you analyze them quite as well. It still does weekly reports that you can see, but might not help you draw those conclusions like Whoop Band does. But while Whoop Band is definitely better at activity, Oura Ring is definitely better at sleep. Like I said, it's supposedly the best place to measure that heart rate as well on your finger versus your wrist too, so they claim that it is more accurate. I noticed that the resting heart rates were pretty similar within probably 4 different things, so they were like pretty similar whenever you did an exercise. They calculated your calories burned during the exercise within 10 calories, so those are both really comparable and equal there. The main difference that I noticed in the readouts, though, was the total calories burned during the day. So they probably just have an algorithm and formula that they're using for this that is really different, where Whoop Band said that I burned 900 to 1,000-ish less calories a day, total burn, than the Oura Ring did. I've heard this as a review from people who wear the Whoop as well, that they believe it underestimates their total calorie burn. Basically, if you know how much you eat in a day and you're not gaining weight, and you know that it's telling you you burn less than that, that's wrong, right? And so if you're not gaining weight, you're probably eating the amount that you burn, is kind of the assumption there. So it's probably somewhere in the middle is the accurate number based on, what I know that I eat, etc. For the readiness with Oura Ring, it seems, again, we don't know their algorithm exactly, but it seems to be that the focus is mostly on resting heart rate for their readiness score, where Whoop Band is a little bit more focused on heart rate variability. Again, these are just assumptions based on kind of trends that I've noticed wearing them side by side, but that also meant that the readouts were very different. I feel that the Oura Ring has been a lot more intuitive to how I actually feel. Feel like it's been a lot more accurate. If I feel like I don't sleep very well and I wake up, the Whoop Band might think that I recovered super well, I'm ready to go, I'm feeling great because my heart rate variability was higher. But the Oura Ring might tell me, oh, you actually need to slow down. Your resting heart rate was higher last night, indicating that you didn't recover very well. And I actually feel like I didn't recover very well, so it feels like the Oura Ring is giving me the more accurate based on, soreness, grogginess, how well I slept, all of that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. That's just been my personal experience, but I've definitely noticed that the Whoop Band doesn't really seem to get me in the way that the Oura Ring does. Along those same lines, my absolute favorite thing about the Oura Ring has been the way that they are a little bit more sustainable in the way that they approach the advice they give you. If you know my channel at all by now, you follow along on Instagram or have been in any of my programs, consistency, sustainability, doing things in a non-obsessive way is my goal. I want to have a balanced approach to wellness and health overall. And I feel like that's what the advice the Oura Ring gives. It's very balanced. It still pushes you to approach your health in a sustainable way. It still pushes you to get more activity and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't feel quite as you can do better all the time like the Whoop Band gives off. Since Oura Ring is a newer company, their activity readouts are not as detailed. It seems that they have updates coming in 2022 that will be a lot more detailed, and I'm looking forward to that. If that is the case, I do believe that Oura Ring will be the superior product, in my opinion. A lot more detail given to you, a lot more accurate from what I feel. The sleep feature is amazing. I'll post screenshots here so you can kind of see what those sleep readouts look like. So if it catches up and can do more of the detail readouts on your activity and your workouts that you do, it will be far superior, in my opinion. My main beef with the Oura Ring is that it is not scratch resistant. So if you do any kind of barbell exercises, dumbbells, holding anything like that, it will scratch. And so I wear a Band-Aid over it while I work out, which I will say is not ideal, and I hope that they fix soon. They both have monthly subscriptions, so that is something to consider. For the Oura Ring, you buy the ring outright, and then you pay $5.99 subscription. For the Whoop Band, you get the Whoop Band free, and then pay a $30 monthly subscription. So eventually these things will be, even, and one will be more expensive than the other, but just something to consider up front if you're going to purchase one. Of course, the other main consideration would be, do you want it on a ring or do you want it on something on your wrist? For me, I didn't like the Whoop Band on my wrist because it doesn't have time. Like I said, that's something I'm always looking at for appointments or coaching or anything like that. I need to know what time it is, and it feels really silly to wear both a watch and the Whoop Band, in my opinion, but that is just me. So I loved both of these products. I think they would both be really, really valuable and totally worth the investment. But in my opinion, the Oura Ring is better for me, my lifestyle, and my approach to health and wellness. I would love to hear your feedback. If you've tried either of these, what has your experience been? Do you feel like it's accurate? What do you love? What do you not love? And we can learn from each other. So comment below if you've experienced anything, tried these, or have questions.